Well, in case you thought that Jimmy Kimmel was going to show a moment of humanity, it has now been reported that not only did Jimmy Kimmel refuse to apologize over his vile statements about Charlie Kirk, he in fact planned to double down on Wednesday night's show. Leave a like on the video if you're totally not subscribed or not surprised at all. By the way, we're pushing to 2 million subscribers. So if you're one of my 40% viewers that aren't subscribed, please do subscribe right now. Make an account, subscribe, help us reach 2 million. That would be absolutely incredible. And don't forget, we're doing a massive sale of coffee, my coffee company, roasted fresh on demand for you, now available with free overnight shipping on Amazon. Our spring flavors are on sale for $5. The tangerine, the cherry cordial. Our summer flavors are out. The tiger's blood, blackberry cream. We have all of our Ethiopian, our Colombian, our dark roast. Everything. Free overnight shipping. If it's not the best coffee you've ever had, I'll give you your money back happily. And it supports the show. This is what Donald Trump had to say, by the way, about Charlie Kirk, because Jimmy Kimmel said that Donald Trump didn't actually care. Oh, to go to the Amazon store, it's cbcamazon.com. So Charlie Bravo, Charlie, Amazon.com. And it takes you right there. Link in the description, too.
This was such a good guy. You know him probably very well. I assume you knew him very well, right? He was a great guy.
Not as well as you, but yes.
No, but he was a great person. He really was a great person. I actually said, Charlie, someday I think you have a good chance of being president. I think you will be president, maybe. And I think he would have had a great chance. He was very compelling. I've never seen anybody capture a group of people like he captured youth. He captured youth. It was incredible. You know, when I say he was a young guy, but I'm talking about the 20-year-olds and the 18-year-olds. It was like he had a following that was incredible.
You did.
This was such a good guy. You knew him probably very well. I assume you knew him very well, right?
There is
not as well as you.
Sorry. There is no world like Donald Trump loved this guy like one of his sons. Jimmy Kimmel said, ha ha ha, Donald Trump's treating him like a dead goldfish. He equated his death to the death of a goldfish. I mean, just absolutely horrible stuff, right? And apparently now we know a little bit more about, but this is also an important tweet from the redheaded libertarian Josie. Jimmy Kimmel didn't get pulled for being, quote, mean to the right. He was pulled because he knowingly made a false statement, violating the FCC's rules and, I imagine, defamation, and then refused to issue a statement or apologize about it. He risked ABC's license, the license of all of their affiliates, and got put in timeout. Here's the rule. The commission's prohibition against the broadcast of hoaxes is set forth at section 73.1217. The rule prohibits broadcast licensees or permittees from broadcasting false information concerning a crime or catastrophe if, one, the licensees knows this information is false. That is the biggest takeaway right there. Jimmy Kimmel knew this guy was not a right-winger, and he said he was anyway. Two, it is foreseeable that the broadcast of the information will cause substantial public harm. I agree with that one too. And broadcast of the information does in fact directly cause substantial public harm, which I believe it also has. Any programming accompanied by disclaimer will be presumed not to pose foreseeable harm. So he didn't do any disclaimer. He presented it as fact. There was not some unholy alliance between the president and ABC that made this happen. That's what Hollywood's saying. It was the Trump administration. It was the Trump administration. No, it wasn't. Don't forget, they also had a $6 or $7 billion merger on the line. Jamie refused the resolution. Jimmy didn't get fired. He got paused. Everyone has to follow the same rules. Even The View complies when they lie that badly. Defamation is not free speech. Telling you the truth does not mean I love the FCC. It means I live in reality and report on reality. People are so used to hearing their own opinions echo back at them that they start conflating truth must be written off as a character flaw. To reiterate, Jimmy Kimmel was paused, not fired. The pause is to de-escalate before an investigation into the third rule. If it were to go badly, ABC could lose their license. Reading up on about what ABC has plans for, it seems strategic as well. Well, they're talking about the merger. They've got a big merger plan. They've got all sorts of other stuff kind of in the works, and this would 100% throw a wrench in all of that. Unrepentant Jimmy Kimmel refused to apologize after Charlie Kirk outrage and actually planned to double down on attacks on MAGA on Wednesday night. Late night show host Jimmy Kimmel said he was unwilling to apologize for his remarks that blamed MAGA supporters for the loss of life above Charlie Kirk. He said he was going to double down on attacking President Trump's backers before he was yanked from the air. So they gave him a chance. They said, hey, do you want to do the right thing? We're not saying you got to love the guy, but are you interested in doing the right thing? Are you interested in correcting this obvious lie that you told? And he said, no, he was not interested in correcting that lie. Think about that. Kimmel learned in a phone call from top Disney exec Dana Walden on Wednesday afternoon that his show was being removed indefinitely, Deadline reports. Even if they put him back on, by the way, Sinclair Media, which represents a massive portion of his viewership, has said that they're not putting his show back on the air. So even if Disney says, well, you've been put in a timeout for now, we'll look at it later. Sinclair, which again is more than half of this distribution from what I understand, isn't putting him on. On Friday, they're airing a memorial of Charlie Kirk in Jimmy Kimmel's spot. Jimmy Kimmel's audience, at least for that group, for that broadcast company, is going to learn the truth. What did they think? During the call, Kimmel refused to comply with calls from critics and dozens of owners and the owners of dozens of ABC affiliate stations for him to apologize. Kimmel felt his remarks required no apologies. The Jimmy Kimmel Live show host also claimed that he was planning to call out his critics for their latest attack on him, all while trying to clarify his comments about Kirk's death. So he was going to come right back on the air Wednesday night and just he can go after Trump. He's 100% within his right to go after Trump, critique Trump. Hollywood coming out and completely not understanding this. Look how Hollywood's trying to. Here's Jason Bateman saying it's a free speech issue. They keep trying to say it's a free speech issue. It's not.
I do have to ask you about your collective move to respond to this, but
he says Hollywood's going to go on strike. No one cares. Oh, whoops! I skipped to the next video by accident. There we go.
Yeah. While I'm here, I do have to ask you about you. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of collective move to respond to this, but I'm not smart enough or powerful enough to be the one to do it. But I imagine there's plenty of conversations going on to
do what?
Do something
What? Are you going to strike? Nobody's paying to see your movies anyway. What, are you going to stop putting out propaganda? You can't do that.
You just can't stand by and let stuff like that go on.
Stuff like?
Well, Jimmy getting his show pulled for, freedom of speech.
His show was not pulled for freedom of speech. Jason Bateman, either you are dumb or uneducated or both, or willingly lying. This has absolutely, positively nothing to do with freedom of speech. Jimmy Kimmel exists on taxpayer-funded, government-regulated airwaves. You are not allowed to use those airwaves to knowingly spread lies, as I have showed you earlier in this video, according to FCC rules. The FCC was well within and is well within their rights to pull the broadcasting license of ABC and their affiliates. That's exactly why their affiliates said, we're out, because they did not want to get caught up in the gigantic mess that Jimmy Kimmel left all over the kitchen floor. He's allowed to say whatever heinous stuff he wants about Kirk. That's fine, and we can make videos calling it out. but he is not allowed to knowingly lie. And then he does that all the time, by the way. You know, you had his little sidekick, Guillermo. Effing livid Jimmy Kimmel's sidekick, Guillermo, spotted leaving LA studio after it was yanked from air. Jimmy's staff is reeling. Well, if you cared about your staff, you would have followed the very simple rules of not lying. I don't feel bad for your staff. And you know what? Jimmy Kimmel's worth $150 million. He could certainly just pay his staff. He could give his staff pay. He doesn't care, though. He doesn't care about the hundreds of people that work on his show. He cares about being right. He cares about sticking it to Trump. He thinks he's fighting the power. Well, now, enjoy your YouTube career, Jimmy Kimmel. It'll be great to see what your real audience is. Not the Jimmy Kimmel live show that's on in 10,000 airport TVs. Not all the people who fell asleep watching you. I want to see you run your show on YouTube and see how many people actually tune in. When you don't have bots bumping up your traffic and huge advertising budgets, when you have to compete on your ideas like the rest of us, it's going to be wild to watch. I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. I hope that you'll try out Coffee Brand Coffee at cbcamazon.com. Free overnight shipping, plus a massive clearance sale. Basically, our entire catalog is there, including our fall flavors, flavored, unflavored, K-Cups, everything. So I'm hoping that you, I think some of our fall flavors have snuck in already, too. Let's see. Yep. Spiked Jack-o'-lantern has already arrived. Maple cream has arrived. That's in stock. So we've got, it's stocking up quick. So give it a try. We'll talk to you again real soon.